most important thing, which is what is a relationship? Why are we doing it? Well, let's go a step further. Wonder whether you'll go along with the following curious reasonings. Where this relationship is going, where it's going, which is, well, let's say that for the sake of which they got together, see, I mean, the whole reason that they got together was because there was some mutuality. Now, notice this now. Is this true, then? The cause that brought them together, which is really that idea is identical with the cause of its existence. The idea is identical with the cause of its existence. That idea is the cause of the existence of them coming together. Agree? I mean, if they now have a relationship, then that relationship exists, doesn't it? All right, the relationship now exists. Let's bring them a little closer. All right. Now, the cause of that relationship was that Manny had an idea, and by the way, it turned out that he acted it out. It perhaps awakened an idea in Sarah. But the cause of that whole relationship is nothing other than that idea, which is now directing all of his actions, to which she must necessarily respond in a similar way, with comparable power, right, activity, potential interest in the relationship, then the cause, the basic cause of that relationship is no other than the cause of its existence is nothing other than that cause. So the cause of the existence of the relationship is nothing other than that, we can call it final cause. What I mean by final cause is that for the sake of which they got together in the first place. So there they are, they're now together. We can now talk about the existence of that relationship. It depends upon a certain cause. That cause then had to have play a positive role. It had to have some power. There had to be some activity that was a consequence of that power. There has to be a power to that activity. And in that involvement, they are then acting out, would you not agree? Ideally, they're acting out what lies potentially in this idea. This idea is, as it were, let's say a broad plan, purpose. Now, of course, once that broad plan and purpose is no longer acceptable, then the relationship ends. For whatever reason. Now look here. Something else about this. I wonder whether we can use this sentence. the cause, the idea, it remains within the activity of its cause. Look at this. See, would you not agree? In everything he does, nonetheless, there's something that remains within himself. That's the idea. It remains there. And in the activity, everything that he and she does, right, in the activity of that cause, it's nothing other than what remains within that idea. Now, in one sense, it has an existence just as an idea, but in acting out the idea, they're departing from it in acting out the idea. They depart from it. Yet, it's the source of their very existence. Let's look at it again. Would you not agree that the degree to which they can become involved in other things, now I want to consider that as these figures here, to separate it from the other, that he may then, do something else, not necessarily consistent with that original idea, and she too may want to turn it in some other direction. But in terms of the original goal, if they return to it, agree to it, and allow it to be acted out, well, then that's a standard of perfection. Their perfection, what they've agreed to, right? So therefore, it's returning to this cause, well, it's the very goal of perfection. Because we can talk about how, as it were, how successful the relationship is if we just ask to what degree are they acting out all of the implications of that plan. If they're acting it out with the full force of their being, then we can measure their relationship, at least internally, by that very standard. Therefore, it's quite obvious that every relationship involves the transference of power. No transference of power, no relationship. Therefore, this whole thing is nothing other than a transference, back and forth, transference of power. Now, there's something curious now that each of these people, again, let us assume, they can keep their goal, which is the very condition of their existence, in mind as they do whatever it is they do. Then in a very interesting way, they become